Hello everybody, thank you for joining me in this new series which is called Massage, Movement and Meditation, because those are the things that I specialize in healing massages, movement such as yoga and breathing, and meditation which is the health of the mind and what we can do to help ourselves live a better, healthier, happier life here. And meditation is one of those techniques that have been developed to help us live a better life. So, what is meditation? It's a big subject. So, you know, if you've looked around from mindfulness, transcendental meditation, heart-based meditation, active meditation, passive meditation, all different kinds of meditations. I think what we can say is meditation is an attempt to use the mind to improve the mind. Within that, there are many things, as we've seen. Now, I've tried. I've been looking at this for a long time. I started meditating when I was about 16, and I've done various kinds of meditation over the years. And although some of them really did have quite spectacular temporal effects, in the meditation itself, almost like going on some drug-filled trip, they didn't translate into an improved state of being, let's say, generally, or functioning generally. So, which is probably the goal of meditation, so I probably didn't do it quite well. I didn't get the effects that people talk about in terms of the long-term effects of meditation. That's fine. So, but I've continued with it, and recently I sort of stumbled across this technique. It's a yoga meditation, which means it's a dharana, D-H-A-R-A-N-A, which is a concentration. So it's an effort to concentrate type. So it's a will, based on using your will to concentrate, to still the mind. Because if you know, of course, yoga, the definition of yoga is the stilling of mental activity. Okay, so that's what yoga is all about, is to bring about stillness in the mind, not just because that is beneficial, and it is, but also in that stillness you can become aware of what in yoga is your true form, or who you really are becomes aware of itself instead of what it is perceiving all the time. So, without getting too much into philosophy, it is the goal of yoga is meditation is not the goal of yoga. Meditation is a way to arrive at understanding, okay, of who we really are. However, the effect of meditation spills over, at least this kind of meditation, into how you are when you get off your chair or get off your mat, into your daily life, which most people perhaps are not interested in becoming enlightened or realizing their true nature, or they can't see that that's an important thing. However, everybody would like to have less stress, more confidence, more clarity, more ease. Okay? So I want to back up a little bit and make a little diagram for you of how this might work. Now, if you see this plant behind me, fortuitous, I didn't plan this, you see that it's spreading this way, that way, and you see these little tendrils here, no? Now you can imagine that this is a kind of metaphor for your brain, and or your attention at any time is pushing out these tendrils to arrive, there is an awareness point, an awareness of something. Okay, so if your awareness is scattered on all these very different activities, right? We might call it distracted. It's pulled this way and that and that. And so each one of these tendrils is out there, these awareness or attention tendrils is out there in a sort of somewhere in around the world, constantly changing. They're all pulled away. So where there may be in this plant there behind us 20, 30 tendrils, each one is off by itself. Now, this means it's much more difficult for the whole plant to get a feeling of its unity, of its combined strength. Okay, because each bit of awareness is separate from all the other bits of awareness. That, and also that lack of awareness of its own power and strength, combined with the fact that each awareness point is aware of its fragility, right? It's a way off by itself, it's a long way from base. So it has to be very careful. It has just a tiny amount of power or confidence or something. So this leads to messages of anxiety coming back up to the main brain center, and a lack of feeling of strength, of cohesion and clarity. It's like watching 100 different television channels at a time. You can't rest, and there is no rest, there is no security, and there is anxiety. So this happens because we don't control where our attention is going. So yoga thought, well, good idea, let's control attention through focusing, through attention control. So you might be looking at a candle, or you might be looking at a flower, or anything, okay? The point is to hold your attention there and not get distracted by imagination or thought, right? In your silent meditation time. Never mind cars outside, or people shouting at you, or things going on, building works, inside, imagination or thought. Neither of those are any good. They are distracting you. They are not you, they are distractions. They are tools you can use, but they are not you. So, when all our attention vehicles come together, or our arrows of attention, imagine all these arrows, they come together, they make a very strong structure, and they all point in one direction, and you get a very clear sense of direction and lack of distraction. And lack of distraction is lack of anxiety, lack of fear, lack of many things. Okay, and a sense of confidence, because you feel the strength of togetherness. It's like all your neurons, you can imagine they are neurons, they're the axons of neurons, they are pulled because they obey your will. This is very important. Neurons obey your will. Thought, attention, awareness obeys your will. They are your servants. So you bring them in, you call them in, and you focus them. That's it, okay? That's essentially it. Now, what do you focus on? In my experience, the less there is to focus on, the better. Okay, so I think in Zen, they sit and they look through half-closed eyes at a white wall. So this is something like that, okay? But you have to find a white wall and you have to sit, and that's even a distraction, that there's a wall there, there's something. Okay, so in this case, this meditation is very simple. Wherever you are, right now, if you can, close your eyes. Okay? Now, you can still see something. After effects of the screen that you've been looking at, perhaps. Little light effects, vague, browny, grayish, pinkish, cloudy, fuzzy, hard to define light effects, let's put them that way. Now, stare out at those. So you're looking at the back of your eyelid, the inside of your eyes, and whatever light effects are coming along your optic nerve. Stare out at that and try to, as it were, grab hold of them with your attention. Really force your awareness, right? And it will completely, it's very, very hard to get a grasp, but it's not like looking at a flower or a candle or something definite. It's something indefined. But I want you to try and make it defined, to see as much of it as clearly as you can. And just try. So everything that is not looking into that void is not important right now. Forget about it. Thoughts that come, images that come, it's not that. Right? It's this vague fuzziness, and you're like peering into a cloud or a mist. There's nothing there, but you focus. You really align all your awareness power, all your attention on that which is constantly evading your attention. That's it. You've focused your attention, your mind. Now, that didn't take long, right? And with experience, you can get it like that. No? No? Okay, internal martial arts. That's it. The art or the skill of focused awareness. My experience is that this condition pulls you out of the many energy sucking and distracting and negativity producing judgments, conditions, disappointments, things that, make you unhappy, right? Because happiness is a state of not having things to make you unhappy. It's there. It is the base state, right? So that when we come into ourselves and are clear, then we increase in a kind of power, a decrease of distraction, which brings the feeling of weakness or of risk, of being at risk, which creates the annoyance and the anger, which creates the arguments or the internal feelings, because you think things are not right. I'm at risk, but you're not. You just think you are because you're dispersed. And this thing brings it right down here. You are a human being, which means you have will and awareness. And essentially, that's what you are. So you return back to your real nature, and nothing can touch that. Nothing. And then you live, in my experience, a less stressful life, a clearer life, a more confident life. And I haven't arrived anywhere. I'm going, I'm sharing this with you. The presence meditation, you're present. Let's call it that. The presence meditation. Did I do a video about this? I can't remember. Anyway, so this is Nemir, massage movement meditation. If you like it, please put a little like there. I'm going to try and build this up again. Anyway, I hope it was useful, and I hope you have a beautiful day, and see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.